Hello everyone, I am Dr. Ian Rogers, and this is just a quick little walkthrough of my Physics 101 fully online Blackboard course and syllabus. So let's get started here. You sign into my class, and this is what you're going to see. We're on the Announcements tab. And here's a quick little blurb about online learning. I didn't put that there, but the powers that be in IT put that there. But it is worth taking a look at because online learning is hard. I've taken online classes and you learn far much in a face-to-face class, so I'd highly encourage you to take my face-to-face class if you possibly can. I realize that some of you are far away or everything like that. So take a look at this. Are you ready for online learning? It is hard, especially in a science setting. I got a quick little blurb about office hours. Essentially, I will definitely answer emails from 8:30 to 9 on Wednesdays. And if you need me to set up a Blackboard Collaborate section, then shoot me an email far ahead of time, and I will get that set up for you. Please don't forget to watch the announcement below and complete the syllabus quiz by the first day of classes. So here I have a quick little blurb about my class, and everything that I've covered in this video is kind of bulleted here, but do watch the video because I do talk about some important things in there. This is the video from last spring, so I'm actually going to replace it with the video that I'm making right now. So let's go ahead and take a quick look at the syllabus. So you see it right here. If I have to make some changes to it, I'll post a new one right there. Again, Physics 101, fully online, fall 2018. Essentially what we're going to do is we're going to learn a little bit of physics here. If you take Physics 101, which you're in right now, we're going to be talking about mechanics, energy, equilibrium, torques, things that are rotating, and fun stuff like that. If you take Physics 102, we'll talk about electricity, magnetism, light, waves, and then quantum physics, actually. Communications. My office is in Science Health 216. If you want to stop on by, you're more than welcome to. I have office hours posted on my door, and this is my phone number. It's not a cell phone. Please don't try to text it. It is a landline, but actually even if you try to call it, there's a really good chance that I'm across the room teaching physics most of the day, so probably the best way to get in touch with me is via email, rrogers@lfcc.edu, so you can go ahead and click on that and it'll shoot me an email. Teaching methods, as I said, this is fully online lecture, fully online lab, so the lectures are pretty much voice over PowerPoint. It puts a lot of the burden on you, and that makes it a little bit harder in the online setting. The labs are largely computer-based. Two of the labs, actually the first two, require you to have some materials like a ruler and a stopwatch and stuff like that, but 25 out of the 27 labs are fully computer-based. Textbook is conceptual physics. Money-saving note, you can get the 11th edition for pennies on the dollar. Highly recommend that. This class is fully online, fully online lecture, fully online lab. Again, puts a lot of burden on you. Online classes are hard, especially science classes. I think that you just learn so much more in a 3-minute interaction that you and I can have in the lab versus 5 or 6 email exchanges. So with that said, there is still room in my face-to-face class. Think about that if you were not a good online learner, or if you're more like a kinesthetic learner or something like that, where you just learn things by touching things and throwing balls around and stuff like that. Make sure that you're a good online learner, and if you're not, again, think about my face-to-face class. I have voice over PowerPoint, kind of dry, and so what I've done is I've kind of spliced in demonstrations that I would normally do in a face-to-face class. So if I jump off a desk in my face-to-face class, you're going to see me jump off a desk in the video, and I'll show you an example of that in a little bit. So that kind of spices it up a little bit. Please do take notes like you would in a face-to-face class. I think you learn a lot by writing things down. One thing that I will mention is I've cut my lectures down to about 10 to 15 minute YouTube videos. Now, in a face-to-face class, it's an hour lecture, usually, give or take. So you're thinking, what's the difference? Well, if something's important, I'll say it in my online lecture once or twice because, well, YouTube attention span's about 10 to 15 minutes. In my face-to-face class, I'll say it 6 or 8 times. So you may have to watch them more than once. So take that disclaimer. 25 out of the 27 labs are online simulations. The first 2 just require you to have some basic materials that I guarantee that you have. Why 25 labs? Well, actually, in my face-to-face class, every day is a little bit of lecture, a little bit of lab. We meet 27 times, hence 27 labs. And so these are kind of little mini 1-hour labs that you would do in a face-to-face class. One thing that I will say that you are an online learner, it is up to you to make sure your computer can run the simulations. And the simulations are kind of a medley of things that are thrown together. Some are Java, some are HTML5, some are Flash, and there are a few other ones. The Java ones are the ones that people struggle with the most. If you have a Mac, it's not going to run Java. You need to find a computer that is a Windows computer. Chrome will not run Java. Java's too insecure. You're going to have to run that in either Firefox or Internet Explorer. All these guides work on the computers running at LFCC and definitely using Firefox. Not getting your computer to get Java to work is not an excuse to turn in a lab. That's kind of like not showing up to class and saying, well, I couldn't turn in a lab. I mean, duh. It's up to you to get the simulation to work. Borrow a friend's computer, go to the library, come to LFCC, do what you have to do to get the labs to work. Again, Macs are not going to be happy with this. One thing I will say is to give you some feedback like you normally would get in a face-to-face class. I kind of go around any questions. I actually give you the chance to submit it on the lab twice, but in order to get some feedback on it, please submit it by Tuesday at 11:59 p.m. and that gives me some time to get it back to you so that way you can resubmit it. Your final grade will actually be the average of the 2 attempts. Homeworks. There's homeworks for every chapter that we cover, and generally it's 10 multiple choice questions, and I'll talk about where to find those in a little bit. You have 2 attempts on the homework. The first attempt will tell you which ones you got wrong. The second attempt, I won't tell you what the answers are until the homework is due. Therefore, I don't accept homeworks after the due date because, well, it tells you what the answers are. There are 5 quizzes throughout the semester. They're worth various points each. They're worth 20 points each, and they're usually the week before tests, and the reason for that is not to beat you up. It's designed to say, hey, you really need to start thinking about this forces and accelerations thing just a little bit more. The quizzes are worth 20 points, the tests are worth roughly 100 points, so you do the math. The quizzes give you 1 attempt, and you have 15 minutes to kind of simulate the test environment. And again, I don't accept late quizzes because it kind of tells you what the answers is after the quizzes actually due, not after you submit it. 4 tests throughout the semester worth roughly 100 points each. It depends on how many questions there are. There are more questions on the second 2 than the first 2, and essentially they're worth about 3 points each. You have 15 minutes to complete it. What I've kind of found is, where does that 15 minutes come from? Well, in my face-to-face classes, people take about half an hour to take my tests, and if I had given you as an online learner unlimited time, you could probably Google your way mostly through the test and get a really decent grade. Hence the 15 minutes. That's more than enough time to complete it if you've studied the material as you should like you would in a normal face-to-face class. I won't accept tests after the due date because it tells you what the answers are after the tests are actually due. Grades. There's 949 points in the course, kind of with the breakdown like this. Tests are worth about 40% of it. You get quite a few points, 270 points from the labs. Homework's about 160 points, and about 100 points from the quizzes. At the end of the day, divide your grade by 949, and you'll, A, B, C, D, and so on and so forth. Now, this syllabus quiz right here, let's go ahead and talk about that really quickly. What do I want for the syllabus quiz? Well, I want you to actually have watched this video and gone through the syllabus and seen what my Blackboard course looks like and make sure you can find things. So this is due the very first day of classes, and what I would like you to do is just to go ahead and shoot me an email with your name, why Physics 101, why online. And more importantly, if I offered Physics 102 online in the spring, would you be interested in taking it? So that's that. Attendance, kind of hard to take attendance for an online class. Make sure you submit all your stuff on time. Academic honesty when it comes to tests and when it comes to quizzes. Essentially what you need to do is you say, hey, this is me only, no one's taking this test for me, and I'm not cheating in any particular way. Disabilities, if you have that form, you know what it means, I know what it means. Scan it in, shoot me an email, get it sent to me somehow, and we'll talk about what you need and how to get it done. Now let's talk about the schedule. Again, 2018. Everything is due at 11:59, and it's all due on Thursday nights. And if we go ahead and say, okay, very first Thursday of the semester, watch chapters 1 and 3. I'll show you where those are in just a little bit. Homework that is due, chapters 1 and chapters 3, and complete these 2 labs. Again, these 2 labs are the only 2 labs that require you to have like some physical materials. August 30th, next Thursday, watch chapters 2 through 4. First quiz is due, chapters 2 and 4 are due, and complete these 3 labs. Now we are going a little bit faster than we would my face-to-face class, and kind of the reason for that is because I give you the whole week to take the test, give you a little bit of breathing room. So the 3rd week of classes is test number 1 is going to be due, and again, everything is due by 11:59 at midnight. So we work our way down. It should all seem pretty obvious from here. The one note I will make is test number 4 right here, due during finals week. This is not a cumulative final. This is only chapters 15 through 18. So again, not a cumulative. Our test 4 is not a cumulative final. So let's pop back right over here. I've talked about the syllabus. Now let's go into the course documents, and here we have lecture notes. And if you wanted to go ahead and take some notes on the slides that I present, well, I'll go ahead and click on this bad boy right here, and it pops it open. And here you see the slides that I'm going to talk to. Again, voice over PowerPoint. And just what I'm going to talk to should help you in your note taking. Now, I also have YouTube videos. Actually, I'm going to click on this one because there's nothing exciting spliced into Chapter 1. Never seems to open in Firefox. I always have to pop it into another window. And here I have the slides that you would see me talking to. And what you're going to have is you're going to have a voice over PowerPoint. I've muted it. But if you see me drop some balls in the face-to-face class, you're going to see me splice it in here, drop some balls if you see me jump off a desk. So it should make it just a little bit more exciting than your standard voice over PowerPoint lectures. And again, I have those guys for pretty much all of the chapters right here. So let's go back into course documents, and here I have some sample tests and solutions. And when I make the test, I make it side by side with the sample test right here. So here I have test number 1 review, test number 1 sample solutions. And this is actually a hard copy, but you kind of get the idea. Here I have so many questions and multiple choice, and if you see a question on the scientific method on the practice test, there's a really good chance you're going to see a question on the scientific method on the real test. The real test is actually through Blackboard, and it's not going to be a hard copy, but it should be something good for you to practice yourself with. Time yourself. See if you can knock it out in 15 minutes. If not, you need to just learn it just a little bit better so that way you do well on the practice test or on the real test. I also have solutions for this guy right here, and if I chose a particular solution, then I try to give you why I chose that. If it still doesn't make sense to you, shoot me an email and we can talk. So here I selected this one, and I said, well, you can test, tested, not tested, and so on and so forth. So also in the course documents, I also have some extra handouts, and if you just want some extra practice on some of these chapters, this is some random stuff that came with the textbook, and you may find that useful to study for if you just want a little bit of extra work. So that was all the course documents. Let's go over here into assignments. First, homework assignments, and let's click on Chapter 1, do the 23rd of August. Chapter 3, do the 23rd of August. Chapter 1 is actually only 5 questions, so let's go ahead and click on this guy. It says multiple attempts. Again, 2 attempts. It'll take the higher of the 2, and it'll tell you which ones you got wrong on the first one. So question number 1, I'm going to select the correct answer and throw you all a bone, and I'm going to select this guy right here, and I'm not going to hit these two. So let's go ahead and save and submit. And it said, okay, well, you took 0 minutes. Let's go ahead and take a look at your results by clicking OK. And oops, I totally messed up that one right here. So question number 1, this guy measured earth radius using this. It tells me what I selected. It said I got 0 out of 1, so I probably got that one wrong. I purposely selected that one wrong. I got 0 out of 1. These I didn't select, so I got 0 out of 1. So to tell you which ones you got right and which ones you got wrong. So now you can go back for your second attempt. And you can kind of see all the due dates. Everything's there and ready to go. So let's go back into assignments. Online labs. Now, lab number 1 is penny test. Lab number 2, measuring speed. Again, same due dates at 11:59, so on and so forth. For all the labs, I have a quick little YouTube video kind of describing what to expect from the lab. So if you click on this guy right here, it's going to pop open the lab. And when you click on this guy right there and you're trying to figure out what the heck does he actually want from this lab, you might want to watch the introduction. You probably don't need to watch it for all of them, but it certainly doesn't hurt to click on this guy and say, okay, well, what is he really interested in this lab? And so I, go ahead and I talk about constant speed, speeding up. What should these graphs actually look like? And that should help you complete the lab. Once you've gone ahead and completed the lab, then let's go ahead and submit this guy. So, okay, let's go ahead and browse my computer, and I'm going to select lab number 3. Preferably submit a PDF, and let's go ahead and submit this guy. And it's going to say blah, 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 it has been submitted. Now what you're going to see is you're going to see a grade right here, and it's yelled at me. I've gone ahead and submitted the lab. And attempt number 1, when I submit a grade right here, then what you're going to do is you're going to get probably a confirmation of that, and it's going to say, your grade is this. And I can give you some notes. So I can say, okay, well, look on the first page at this motion graph right here. So there are going to be some notes that appear over here once I've gone ahead and graded that. But what I found is I actually can't simulate that for you all because then I need to grade myself and come back to it, and it just doesn't seem to work. So that's that guy right there. Oops, back into assignments right here. And There we go. And now let's go into quizzes, and it says, okay, quiz number 1, due on this date right here. I need to fix that. And quiz number 1, 6 questions, and it has a time limit. It's going to take 1 attempt, and we can go ahead and we can begin that guy just right there. So that's the quizzes. Tests are right down here. It says 50 minutes. You click on this guy right here, and it says okay. This test has a time limit of 45 minutes. I need to fix that. And we can go ahead and click on this. Don't click on it until you're ready to do it. You only have 1 attempt, and that's what it'll let you do. I think that's everything I wanted to say, so I do want to wish you luck. Feel free to please do shoot me an email if you want to, and I look forward to hearing from you, especially in a syllabus quiz. Have a good day. Bye.